Hello everyone and welcome to this Threshold video. Today we are going to be taking a first look at Memphis by Axonos. This is set to release rather shortly, and Axonos was very generous to provide me with an early copy of the scenery to do a first look. Now, this is not going to be a review of the scenery, so if you want to see things in depth, you're going to have to wait a little bit. I will be reviewing Axonos Memphis in the coming weeks, but right now, this is just a first look. It's a pretty laid back one at that as well. We're pretty much just going to be looking around the scenery, showing some of the highlights that I found as I've been going through it so far. And that's about it. So let's get into it. So I think Memphis is a pretty cool airport because the terminal's right here, but the terminal is so small in comparison to the rest of the airport. If you ever look at the charts, the Fedex area, it's not called Worldport. I'm not sure exactly what the name is. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that one. But the Fedex area is huge in comparison to the small terminal, and we'll hop on over there right now so that we can look at it a little bit more in depth. So this is the Fedex part of the airport right here. There's the plane that I have loaded up right there, flight factor 757. And it looks really good. I really assess this area in terms of what it looks like in terms of if you're looking at it from a reasonable distance away. And I'd say from here, if you're parked up over here, which it doesn't look like you'd be able to do because there's so many pallets in the way, that the quality is certainly very nice over here. They did a really good job with the taxiway textures and the concrete and all that, and it looks really great. And I actually, even though you can't park over here because of the clutter, I actually do rather like the clutter. Just in general, it adds to the atmosphere as well, and especially these truck designs. These look really good. I haven't looked at reference pictures yet, so I don't know how accurate this is, but it does look like Axonos has done a really good job modeling this area. It's really nice to see overall a Memphis on the market because there haven't really been fantastic Memphis sceneries for X-Plane 11. It's really been a shame because I personally love to do cargo flights myself. I find them a lot of fun, and they are a lot less stressful too. It's nice to do them instead of doing passenger services every once in a while, just because you can really go anywhere you want with cargo, and you can take huge planes on quick 30-minute routes and not feel like you're being completely unrealistic, because I like to stay a little bit realistic with my flights. I don't know about you guys, but this area over here is modeled nicely as well. Again, I really like the texture and depth that has been placed for the taxiway textures and the concrete. It's really nice, and the Fedex logo looks really nice as well. A lot less clutter over here, which is good. I'm assuming that area back there was actually an area that FedEx uses more for storage instead of aircraft. So it would make sense that this area has a little bit less clutter. But as you can see, every single remote stand here is just ginormous. It's ready for all the heavy aircraft, and that's all FedEx really does have anyway. But here's like an above view right here, just the general area, and you can see how large it is in comparison to the teeny tiny terminal over there. But still really cool, and it seems like they've also added a bunch of detail over here as well with the parking lots and some of the trucks over there. And this is really awesome. This just adds a whole new level of depth, and it makes you feel like if you're coming in, that you're actually coming in to deliver some cargo, and you can really see that this is FedEx's one of their logistics centers, which is super cool. I've actually never been here in real life, but it definitely looks like it'd be a maze to get around. And if that wasn't enough, then there's all the remote stands over here for FedEx aircraft to come in as well. Another thing to point out, I guess, that's important is the frame rates. Real quickly, here are my graphics settings right here, and you can see what rig I am running in the description below. But we're getting a pretty solid FPS right now for a clear day. Just considering my graphics settings overall. I did turn them up for a little bit for this video, but nothing too crazy. And still, regardless, 30 frames per second is pretty solid for such a packed airport as this one. But I really like the three-dimensional grass, and it seems like it doesn't take away from frames at all. Yeah, so we have looked a little bit at Fedex. Now let's take a look over at the main terminal. Again, some really great taxiway textures here as well. This must have taken a while to do just because of all the diverse, this is very weirdly laid out, but it looks really good, I think. And again, I really like the tire marks and stuff like that. But let's head over to the terminal. But actually, before we go there, let's look at the runway. And the runway looks pretty solid as well. There's some nice tread marks here. I think that actually the tire marks look really good. There's a nice diversity and a nice gradient in the way that they go down. So really great job with that, I must say. Here the grass does stand out a little bit more, but it also just gives the impression that it's dry, in my opinion, which I don't really have an issue with personally. So let's continue on to the terminal right this way. I can take a quick peek over here as well. Lots of detail made over here too. I'm assuming a part of the airport that is a lot less, has a lot less traffic because of the terrible condition that the asphalt is in. But this looks really cool, actually. Really great job with these textures, I must say. Let's continue on to the terminal and stop getting sidetracked. You can see right here, this is where they keep a lot of the catering and fuel trucks and all that, and it actually looks pretty cool over here. It looks like it's divided up into different airlines, because we have American, we have United, and then over to behind us was Delta. Really great. Again, I love how everything is scattered and it doesn't look like anything is particularly organized, because that follows pretty accurately with the way that this is in real life, I would say. Also, nice diversity of cars here as well. Looks like they've done a pretty solid job here with the terminal. It doesn't look like they have a modeled interior, which is okay, but it's something to keep note of. I like these textures as well. They look like they're a nice high resolution, and the gates look really great as well. I haven't checked to see if they use SAM or not. Let's see here. Airport operating system. Yes, it looks like they have utilized SAM plugin, SAM jetways for this, which they look really good. And then it looks like the story of the terminal does just continue to be the same, continuing on to the side over here. Again, the terminal is very small in comparison to the FedEx part of the airport. So I would imagine in real life that it is pretty boring, since FedEx is so focused. The passenger boarding area looks pretty solid. I've definitely seen it with a higher amount of detail, but that is okay. I think it looks really cool, and I like how they have the custom cars here too. The Mata looks pretty cool. I'm probably butchering that, but I don't know how busy Memphis actually is in real life, but I'm assuming that it isn't as busy as other major international airports. So it looks like this traffic reflects it pretty well. And these columns look pretty great as well, I must say. Some really nice attention to detail here too, with the ladder on each side. That is something that I don't think I would have noticed if I were making a scenery, but then again, I'm not a scenery developer, so take what I say with a grain of salt. The last thing that I'm gonna take a peek at is over here, just this part of the terminal. It looks pretty solid. Same thing as earlier, SAM jetways, no modeling of the interior, pretty solid ground textures. And that's about it. So let's head on up to the sky and we can just take one last look and then can have some final thoughts for this first look. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know that it isn't the super well polished video that we usually have for videos in general, but I promise that will come. I am definitely going to be reviewing this scenery since it is pretty hotly anticipated, and I am a huge cargo fan. But anyways, this has been a first look at Axonos Memphis. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you would like to see the review, don't forget to hit subscribe and the notification bell if you want to be one of the first to watch it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.